All right, right now we are tracking breaking news. Right now there is a fire east of downtown Spokane. Let's take a live listen in from Justin DeReuter with the Spokane Fire Department.
People in the area have surveillance video. Anything that stands out, certainly we've got fires, and they're spread out. Most of them are down in this area, but I think the furthest one away was My Fresh Basket that we've heard of so far this morning.
So you said 6 total?
At least 6 so far, yep.
Absolutely arson is what you're saying is being pointed to.
I mean, we've got to stop and look at all of them, but certainly when they all pop up to, kind of in the same area around the same times, exterior starts,
You know what time this fire started?
I don't have my phone on me right now, but you guys have that, I know.
What was the ignition? What started the fire? Do you know?
We don't know. That's all an investigation. It's arson, so it's all under investigation. I'll say it's suspicious. We got arson fires. We know that.
But you could tell they were started from the outside.
Well, most of these have been exterior starts, yeah. At this point.
Okay,
yeah.
Security footage. What else are you doing to follow up on leads? Is there any info that the public can help you with?
Yeah, I mean, whatever they see. I mean, the big thing is checking surveillance video and cameras and stuff. That's usually where we get some of our best information. Is that stuff that you might have on your camera and not even think it's important to us, but take a look at it. You asked what time? A little bit after 5, so kind of check anything from really, probably 4 o'clock on this morning. We'd be interested if you have something on there, that you think is suspicious.
Between 4 and now, for all 6 or for just these 2?
I think anything in the area, and I don't have that list exactly where they're at yet, but they're all, most, like I said, the furthest one out was My Fresh Basket. And then we've had at least 2 blocks away from here. Engine 7, they were driving into this one and didn't drive by, they stopped and put that one out, but it was an exterior start getting ready to work its way into a commercial building. So
how many engines in total are responding to all of this?
I don't have that number right now, but at least 6 engines and probably four trucks or so.
What are the
3 trucks.
statuses of these fires?
Both these are under, they're under control now.
And all 6, are they all under control?
Yeah.
And all those fires happened right here in this home?
Well, I mean, we've got within a couple blocks here.
Okay, so you're just saying in this area?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So
but they all came in around the same time within. When we were driving in, we saw multiple columns of smoke, so we knew we had multiple fires,
Is it businesses, houses, a variety?
Yeah, everything, yeah.
Everything.
And then any idea on or any description for a suspect who may have started any of these?
Nothing yet, yeah. That's what we need help with, yeah. I think just, the big concern is we got to keep our eyes out today. We've got a wind event forecasted, and I don't mean to scare people, but like this afternoon, what the weather service is saying, these are one of those days that our hairs need to stick up on our back of our neck a little bit to be prepared, be aware and prepared. This is the day where your go kit, you might be very well inside the city on a day like we saw this in January in LA, right? You might be very well inside one of the city neighborhoods and have to evacuate. Sunday night, we evacuated a portion of Northwest Spokane, so under level 3. So, and that fire, that was the exact fire that we've been talking about, we're concerned about. Is that it's on the other side of the river, it's outside of the city, it's those embers, those winds carry those embers into the city, So fire on the ground today is going to be, fire in anything today is going to be a very dangerous day. So this needs to stop.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And what's your title?
Information officer. I'll give you my card too. So we haven't met. Yeah.
All right, you are listening live from Justin DeReuter, the Public Information Officer for the Spokane Fire Department, giving us fire set in downtown Spokane. He's calling them arsons, or at least suspicious. He says it happened sometime between 4 a.m. and now, and they are looking for a suspect.
So he says there were a total of 6 fires that were sparked anywhere between that Sprague Union District area all the way to the farthest one being near My Fresh Basket. Again, they are looking for a suspect to figure out who sparked these fires. They don't know exactly how they were sparked, but they are asking people in that area if you have any video, any surveillance, any photos from between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. this morning to reach out to Spokane Police or Spokane Fire as they continue continue this investigation.
One of the reasons why they think it was an arson is that Justin was saying that these were all exterior starts, meaning that the fire was originated from outside of these different structures. So we're working to find out if they were all homes, if any businesses were affected. But you're looking at video from one of our tower cams from earlier this morning showing all of that smoke coming up in the air. Justin also bringing up the point that it is very possible that with these extreme heat conditions as well as the wind, the fire danger is extremely high right now, and urban areas are not immune to wildfires. He mentioned the Aubrey fire burning in northwest Spokane, where people were evacuated up to a level 3, and that could very well happen in any part of our region. So it is an investigation that's underway right now. We're continuing to ask questions, and we'll bring you updates and details throughout the morning. And speaking of that, let's get over on to Nicole now to talk about this weather impact alert. You heard the fire department talking about that, Nicole, the
Yes.
high temperatures and the wind. It's not a good combination.
No, absolutely. And one thing Justin mentioned here during this press conference was all 6 of these fires are under control now, but that could be a different story in just a few hours as winds are going to be picking up very quickly here this afternoon. Right now, we are at 65 degrees with calm winds, and our relative humidity isn't all that dry. All of those things going to get worse in terms of fire danger. Our temperatures are going to get hotter. Our relative humidity is going to tank down into the potentially single digits and teens. And then our winds are going to increase with gusts between 20 to 30 miles per hour today. The heat today definitely going to be a big factor for you if you're heading out. We are going to have 96 degrees potential for us here this afternoon. Other spots in central Washington potentially hitting that 100-degree point. For that reason, we are under a weather impact alert. I'll talk more about this coming up in just a few minutes.
Here's a live look at the traffic impact from downtown Spokane at I-90 and Division. We're off to a great start here on this Tuesday morning. No major issues on the roads at this hour. We are crash-free, and people are getting to where they need to go on time. We'll keep a close eye on traffic throughout the morning. We'll let you know if there's any problems. On Up with KREM, we bring you weather and traffic together every 30 minutes. Let's get back to that breaking news now this morning. We just told you about a fire burning in the Sprague Union area near downtown Spokane. Multiple fires set, and it is being called an arson.
Yeah, so our KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is live there. So Brandon, you just got that update. What can you tell us and what are you seeing?
Yeah, well, what we're seeing right now is a very much active scene. Lots of fire trucks, lots of law enforcement around the downtown core. This is right next to the Goodwill off of I-90. And so there's several engines out here. And you just heard moments ago, we had that conversation with Justin DeRuyter from the Spokane Fire Department. He was letting us know they absolutely believe this is an arson type of situation. They've responded to at least 6 fires this morning here in the downtown area from about 4 to at this particular time. And what he said, at least 2 were engulfed in flames. They were able to get all of these under control. They have a hand on most of them right now. We can just go ahead and take a look. You see a little bit of smoke coming through this one particular home. He said the furthest one near My Fresh Basket, so over in that Kendall Yards area. Again, right now where we're currently standing near the Trent and Hamilton exit on I-90 as you're heading eastbound. So lots of information that I'm sure we're going to be learning here throughout the day. Once we get any of those new updates, we'll be sure to keep you posted across all of our KREM 2 platforms. But again, reiterating, at least 6 fires started this morning here in downtown Spokane. And another thing that Justin mentioned from the Spokane Fire Department, he said, hey, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but today is one of those days where fire conditions are absolutely dangerous. So they're still working to figure out who exactly started this. There's no details on exactly who they're looking for in terms of a suspect at this point, but with those hot and dry conditions, we have to keep our eyes peeled and make sure we keep an eye open for any other fires. But for now, once we get any new details, we'll keep you posted here in Spokane. Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
And Brandon, before we let you go real quick, you were on your way to this fire. We could see that billowing smoke. Did you see smoke from any of the other 5 fires that were set besides the one you're at?
No, Nicole, I couldn't see any personal smoke as we made our way down the hill, but of course, once you get closer to the scene, we have a couple of areas blocked off just here on 3rd Avenue and on 2nd Avenue. There's going to be a big law enforcement presence, but these were the only 2 that we saw initially. So there's at least 4 others though that could possibly be having some of that smoke, or areas we haven't personally seen yet. So we'll continue to try to take a look around and see where these other areas impacted were located.
All right, Brandon T. Jones, we will check back in with you in just a little bit. Yeah, this morning we will keep you updated. Things are improving in the fight against the Aubrey fire. You heard the fire public information officer reference earlier this morning. This is the fire burning in northwest Spokane near the Bowl and Pitcher area.
Crews actually downgraded the evacuations again from a level 2 to a level 1, which means be ready just in case. KREM 2 was able to get a tour of the fire line and talked with a park ranger about the tough terrain firefighters were up against when it started.
In a very short period of time, had to evacuate our 2 largest campgrounds at Riverside, and we have limited staff on weekends, so it was a scramble for us to get everybody evacuated and safely out of our park.
Just another reminder, level 1 get ready evacuations are still in place for that area. That includes Riverside State Park. Crews say the fire burned about 40 acres, and investigators are still working to figure out what sparked it.
Several viewers of KREM 2 sent us photos of the fire. This photo was captured by Melanie Williams, taken from the ridge above the fire at Riverside State Park. You can see all the smoke and that helicopter crew were using to fight that fire. If you see breaking news ever, text us at 509-448-2000. Meantime, all evacuations have been lifted in the Seagull fire burning south of Spokane near Bonnie Lake. Fire crews have that fire 93% contained. So far, it has burned about 700 acres. Officials say smoke from that fire will be visible for the next couple of days as fuel continues to smolder. The fire officials say this fire was human caused. How it started, though, is still under investigation. We have an update for you regarding the 3rd firefighter that was shot during the ambush in North Idaho.
Engineer Dave Tisdall is now in stable condition in the ICU at Kootenai Health. He, remember, you survived the ambush shooting while responding to a fire on Canfield Mountain in Coeur d'Alene, where 2 other firefighters were killed. Tisdall was shot once in the back. For the first time since the shooting, KREM 2 spoke to some of his fellow firefighters.
I would consider Dave my closest friend in the department. The cool part about Dave is I think there is a long, long line behind me of people that would say the exact same thing.
Coeur d'Alene Fire says Tisdall has a collapsed left lung, damage to his clavicle, several shattered ribs, and spinal swelling. They say right now he cannot move his legs, but they're hoping that will change once the swelling goes down. Tisdall's team says he actually alerted other firefighters about the gunman, which saved lives. Celebration of Life services are planned for the 2 firefighters that were killed in that ambush. A ceremony on Thursday will be dedicated to the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department Battalion Chief John Morrison, and another memorial on Friday will honor Kootenai County Fire and Rescue Battalion Chief Frank Harwood. Both services will be at the Hagadone Event Center in Coeur d'Alene. These services are not open to the public, but if you would like to send condolences to the families, we have those addresses on our website, krem.com.